Hi there, viewers, and welcome to the Repair It, Don't Wreck It channel. Today I'm working on a Craftsman snow thrower. It has the 4 horsepower Tecumseh engine, 19-inch wide auger. This snowblower was built in 1982. It's a real classic. It's my neighbor's snowblower. He had inherited it from his father. It's been sitting around for a few years. Since it was in excellent condition, I felt it was worthwhile to try and get it running. The first thing I need to do is to clean the fuel tank and replace the fuel line. I'm going to remove the handle that rotates the auger to give me some room to work. Once you remove the cotter pin and spin the handle, it should come off. Then you can slide it towards the back of the thrower out of the way. I'm going to need to get access to the carburetor. There are 3 screws that hold this box. This box directs warm air from the muffler to help warm up the carburetor for better performance. Once you get the 3 screws removed, then you can remove the knob that controls the choke. This one's a little tight. Take your time as it is plastic. With the air box out of the way, now you can get access to the fuel line and the clamp that secures it. It is connected to a piece of plastic that is attached to a piece of metal that is attached to the carb. I'm pretty sure this plastic fitting, which is white, is cracked. I'm going to cut the fuel line with a razor knife to put as little stress on as possible. I don't want to break it any further. I want to try and save it for now. I'm not sure if parts are still available. To remove the old fuel line, I'm going to install a new one by putting a wire through the old line to the other side where the fuel tank is. Once that's done, I'm going to put a hole in the new fuel line to attach this wire and pull both of them through. It's a little tricky as the new fuel line is a little bit thicker than the old existing. Also, I don't want to remove the steel housing where the line goes behind. I don't want to damage any parts that may not be available. It's a matter of pulling on the wire and wiggling the fuel line, and eventually it'll work through. Just be patient. Despite the lack of maintenance over the last few years, the fuel tank looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is put in different sized pieces of stuff lying around in the shop and put some water and dish soap and give it a good shake to clean up and scour any bits and pieces of debris out. When you're through, make sure you get all the pieces out. Looking inside, I think it did a pretty good job. I'll give it another rinse with warm water and soap and we'll be in business. With the new fuel tank ready to go, I can attach the new fuel line with a new clamp. Make sure you get the hose on all the way. The nipple on the bottom of the tank is not that long, and also there are no serrations on it to grip the fuel line. There's a chance it could slip off if you're not careful. When you put the clamp on, get it up as far up to the bottom of the tank as you can to get a good bite on it. I could have added a fuel filter and shut-off valve, but my neighbor didn't want to spend any more money than necessary for now. On the bottom of the plastic fuel tank, there's a recess that lines up with the bracket that's attached to the snowblower. Once you get the 2 lined up, you can tilt the tank up and line up the holes for the 2 bolts. Don't over-tighten these bolts as they are just going into plastic. In the frame, you can see the plastic adapter has come off the serrated steel piece that is attached to the carb. My plan is to epoxy this plastic fitting to the steel nipple. This epoxy is rated for fuel. I believe the steel nipple can be removed and replaced, but if the epoxy works, it's less risk. I hope it works. When applying the epoxy, be careful you do not get any into the fitting. This would obviously cause a problem with the fuel delivery. Looking at the way the epoxy oozed out, I think it's going to work. I had a clamp on the fuel line as there was fuel in the tank. I realized with the snowblower sitting up on the chute, the fuel shouldn't leak out. I'm going to remove the clamp, double check the fuel line to make sure it is straight and not kinked. With the fuel line connected at the carb and the fuel tank, I can put the housing back on. It is a reversal of the removal. Reconnect the wire for the key start switch. Make sure it's tight. These machines shake and vibrate quite a bit. Install all 3 screws loose to help line them up, and then snug them down to finish off. Before I forget, I did wait 24 hours for this epoxy to set up. I know I've mentioned it a few times, but this snowblower is in excellent condition. It has been well cared for and stored in an indoor garage. Next, after the screws have been tightened up, is the choke knob. Look at the orientation on the back of the knob. It goes only one way on the shaft. Now that the fuel line is on, we can start it up and see how it runs. I'm impressed. This thing is running just like new. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. And as always, repair it. Don't wreck it. Thanks for watching.